No. It's going to be a super hard lane here for Dreamocell. He's going to have to somehow get a lot of space from his support, so we should see Kezcute really try to step it up, or Hyde try to get him some space. I think you will want the Ancient Apparition with Ricky in this case. So you should see at least Kezcute try to cop the damage, try to cop the harass, but it's never going to be an easy time, especially to leave jabs around. That's just not going to be a fun lane. But that's going to be the important thing for Boom. They need a Ricky to come online, just like Fnatic needs their Morphling to come online, but Fnatic has a better answer for the laning of that Ricky. So we'll see just how much Boom can push with her lineup. I do worry for Boom. Like, we've seen those Rickies just fall so far behind in games. They try to get the farm up, they don't flash farm fast enough, and they just kind of get bursted down. So a lot is hanging off the back of Dreamocell here.
Seconds to battle.
Definitely. And there is potency with what Boom has. I think you always will have to keep Hyde and FBZ together. So that's a laning combination that you just cannot go without, especially if you do get the early level in Cogs. You go up, trap someone with Cogs and Battery Assault, you lay the Napalm on, fly over with a Fire. That should be a relatively easy way to get that lane done. We'll see whether or not Hyde is going to walk away, because they might just invest in a tri-lane, although the synergy in this tri-lane isn't the strongest. Cogs does kind of play with the AA quite nicely. The EXP distribution is going to be a bit tighter here. Clock and AA do want to hit 6 fast, so it does look like Boom will stick to that tri-lane for now, and if they do maintain that, Kezcute and Hyde won't get the best times to those level 6. Jabs. Oh!
My embers burn! First blood!
Definitely, it's really good blocks coming out from Boom Esports there. Kezcute just managing to keep jabs in. That's something they can definitely exploit. Like, the Clinks is great in damage, can kind of dip in and out, but before, like, level 2, level 3, he's at a pretty weak point that you can bully hard with these two supports, and that's something that Boom has to maintain, because the moment Jabs sits in lane, throws out those searing arrows, Dreamocell is just gonna be taking way too much damage. Oh.
Down fracture. Dead on the dotted line.
Definitely. They are finding a lot of kills to build off of. The Ricky is going to enjoy that. They aren't really stopping Savage, so that's a bit of a plus for Fnatic. Jabs is copying all the ganks, but Savage is allowed to kind of just farm up. So it's a bit of a trade-off. I think that's the best you can hope for when you do have a tri-lane. And as long as Savage doesn't overextend, he should be fine. Yeah.
That, my friends, is why metal will never die.
This...
No.
This is exactly how you'd want to work this lane out. I think Fnatic should consider maybe switching out the cores, because Savage is just not going to have a good time. They do drag DJ down, so it's going to be a tri-lane on tri-lane, which should match the aggression, but you're going to be leaving a Batrider against the Underlord. It's going to be a farming lane for both sides. I think FBZ is going to be extremely happy with that result. Yeah. Not much. Like, the atrophy aura is annoying, but Batrider doesn't care for that. He really doesn't. He goes by a lot of amplification from the napalm and the fireflies to clear out waves. He can dip into the jungle much faster than the Underlord can. So there is that as well for that top lane. So it's going to be a static farming lane that will probably favor FB.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Jabs. Again.
Stopped you.
They're bleeding out. They're bleeding a lot. Definitely. It needs to try to harass out the enemy laner. It hasn't paid off. Jabs does have level 2. Did opt for Death Pack instead. So he is, you know, he's going to have a lot more HP and damage out. It is a fairly long laning cooldown though. And once you die, you lose the buff. So every single time he pops that spell and then dies with the buff on, well, that's just a lot of dead time in the lane. Just really maximizing that slow.
A tool to teach.
That should help. Jackpot. I think not.
They're not too far behind considering all the kills on the map so far. That's basically down to the fact that the farming rate for both sides are fairly even. You take a look at that last hit for it. The heroes are kind of lined up evenly. The only big outliers, Savage against Dreamocell. That's it. Everyone else pretty much dead even, I'd say, for the most part. So really tied up evenly on the farm despite all those early kills. And either side really having a huge advantage there. The key thing is that EXP is being starved out. That's about it. So all these early kills haven't quite amounted to anything serious just yet, although Ice is applying some pressure to FBZ, but that's not gonna be enough. Yeah, just trying.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah. And this is why both of us prefer that support clock. They just have so much utility to give in the map. They're not going to be needing to soak that lane EXP, and they don't tend to find great farmed lane if the opposing laners are competent anyway. So Hyde is maximizing this pick for Boom. He has found a lot of kills off the map. He's bounced out those lane matchups. 23 Savage loses his career, so some items flying out are going to be delayed by a minute and a half. Forced to kind of back off, but this lane for Savage is just so hard. We rarely see Savage get a really hard lane like this. He's still finding the last hits, but he's playing on the edge and under a lot of pressure. And Boom is probably one of the few teams that can apply that. So as long as they maintain that pressure, ensure that Savage actually starts to fall behind, then you're going to see a really big return on this investment on the bot lane.
Invisibility.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Pretty big for Fnatic. Still fairly even in terms of net worth. 1k advantage for Boom. Not too unexpected considering how many kills they have. You do want to see a bit of a wider lead there. I think you want to mount that more. Mikado under a spot of trouble.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh yeah. They do rotate FBZ down bot, so they want to try to start burning out Savage. They have tossed the rookie up top. This is gonna pit Dreamosol up against Ice Ice Ice. He doesn't enjoy laning against the Underlord as much as the Bat would. This is a bit of a strange mix-up, but I guess they want to lay it onto Savage just a bit more. Oh, lasso onto Savage.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, got a bad case of lane rash there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Jackpot.
Death's bounty. That should help.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
No, 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 no.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's still fairly even in that sense. All these kills really haven't stopped the other cores from finding that laning farm. You took a look at Savage, he died 2 times. He's still number 2 in net worth at 3.9k, just about 300 behind Mikado's Ember Spirit. So you see, he's still in a fantastic spot here. You would like to see Boom kind of step it up. I'd like to keep targeting the guy. They send out the AA ult, doesn't hit. Savage is going to be perfectly fine to keep shoving that top tier 1, which is fairly low already, so they might even just take it.
My searing chains. Regeneration.
I do not fear.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh,
Rock it on.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
it's a 1-9, yet somehow the network lead isn't wide enough. It just feels like Fnatic, when they know they're going to lose a hero, they just farm up elsewhere. The other cores know that they're going to have a bit of a free time, and Boom has kind of sacrificed some of that laning farm from this aggression. So they are still winning out. Sure, 1-9, 1k advantage is the Boom. You want them to widen that, because as long as it's even, Fnatic's still going to be very comfy. They know they're going to take a little bit more time with 23 Savage. They know that Morphling is going to take a lot more time investment. But if they're not behind, then they're really just not worried. It's their game to take slow.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah. They're just taking out those objectives, allowing them some leeway to farm up, so it's a bit harder for Boom to really exert control on the map right now. They do still hold on to their tier 1 mid. That's going to be very pivotal for Boom to keep this aggression up. You finally see a smoke coming out from Fnatic as well, so it's their turn to perhaps try hunting something out. It is just Moon and DJ, but that could be enough on the right target.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I didn't want to be seen like this.
The entirety of...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I'm sure Boom is going to be happier with that trade than Fnatic is. They lost their 2 cores. They did find a Riki. That's great. But you lost your Morphling. That's a really the hero you want to save, and that's going to cost you a bit. Yeah, just a little bit more fighting around, but Boom does split up to eventually go back to farming. You take a look at Dreamocell, just about to finish up that defusal in a bit, like 1,100 gold away from getting that full item up. Once that's up, he's going to have a lot more damage to tear through that backline. It does feel somewhat lacking when his teammates aren't around. They're just waiting for that to be up and running. You do see Mikado actually prioritize the Spirit Vessel in this game, so they want to slow down that regen, that durability that Fnatic naturally has. You see Ice is going to be a major factor in contributing to that, so just taking away some of the utility that you're seeing there, taking away some of that durability on Savage will make it easier to find these targets, and it's already up and running Mikado, so they do look to try to find an early kill.
Get on.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
My soul is quenched.
It's not the biggest loss for Fnatic. They should know to pull back now. I mean, Boom is just continuously moving forward. There's no opportunity for them to counterfight just yet from Fnatic. They're just going to have to accept that Boom is going to run them down, find a pickoff. They just need to mitigate their losses here, Fnatic, and focus on ensuring that their cores are finding farm, which they are. Savage is starting to drop off a bit. The gap between him and the Ember Spirit is starting to widen, but it's not to the point where you're kind of worried, although Boom is at a 2k lead, so it's starting to get bigger.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Blaze here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Discover
Huh.
what lies beyond.
And they might find Ice as well. And more. Fnatic pouring in one by one for that mid defense, being punished by being out of position. They gave a lot of kills away that they shouldn't have in that case, and that does widen Boom's lead to a good sturdy 3k. This is the point where you can say definitely Boom is ahead. They've managed to find some good towers. They're finding kills and going again.
Even the wisest.
Definitely. Yeah. Like Savage right now. This could be troublesome.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, definitely doesn't. They have to blow a lot of spells to find those kills. That does allow Boom to keep going. Like, they find DJ now. Nice.
Dead in the water.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, that is a bit strange of a movement from DreamoCell, especially as the rest of his team was kind of trying to chase down Ice, who does manage to get the Dark Rift off. The Sori is quick-chatted, so he knows he kind of screwed up there. Still, Boom is at a 4K lead, although you see Savage, he's pretty much tied up with that Ricky, so he's still finding farm on Morphling. The rest of his team is getting a bit of a hit in that word, but the key hero here, the Morphling, is finding that farm. You do have to wonder from Boom, are they doing enough to keep that Morphling in check? Do they have enough? They've got that Spirit Vessel. We haven't seen them land the Ice Blast from Kezcute all too often. But it does feel like Savage is still finding a bit too much from having all these kills blow up. I think Fnatic is going to be perfectly happy with these kinds of trades as long as Savage is farming up, and he certainly is. He's 1 to 4, but number 2 in net worth. So all those early kills really hasn't mattered.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They definitely are. They're just maximizing that long-range initiation they can get, all the control they have on hand.
Radiant's middle tower
What?
is under attack.
Okay. What? 22-minute GG call from Fnatic.
Dire
They're only 6k behind, but I guess they just want to reset. You know, they gave a bit too much. The aggression from Boom was looking good. They did have an answer to the Morphling in that AA really early Spirit Vessel.